Greetings, bones and ghouls. I regret to inform you that I am still very sweaty. I have been sitting in this office, sweating until this next video. You could say I'm sweating like a pig. A pig face! It's Indieween! It's that time of year where I stick it to the AAA slop industrial complex by showing you a bunch of cool little indie games you can get for the price of a single AAA title. And I am not backing down against the new $80 price tag of some of these 9-figure clowns trying to pull out of the same game. Additionally, I'm picking fights all over the place this year because I am so goddamn sick of all the companies paying anyone who values a check over their integrity to try and gaslight you into thinking you can't use your own stove, so that each and every one of these videos are going to feature a meal prep cooking tutorial. And I'll have a standalone video complete with the full recipe and approximate nutrition facts available on my Patreon completely for free. So today we almost had a little bit of a problem. I had initially selected a game that looked like it was going to be a great fit for Indieween. A spooky survival game complete with stacking boxes, cats, and it was pretty cheap to boot. But then we played it on stream and it was awful. Like, we didn't even make it 2 hours into this game before we stopped and started playing Velvedek instead. I always have backups for Indieween in case of a situation exactly like this, but I didn't have something that quite fit the price point of that game I needed to scrap. Then Tito, out of nowhere, drops PIGFACE at exactly the price I need to make sure this Indieween is full of bangers. I was able to get a key for PIGFACE when it dropped, which I normally don't do, but you might have noticed that I was somewhere else in regard to PIGFACE on this whole thing. If anything, it feels like this video is very late, as I should have done this the week the game went live, but this is perfect for Indieween. So today, at the positively slick price of $9.99, we have the early access release of PIGFACE. Do you like hurting other people? Do you like Hotline Miami and Cruelty Squad? Do you like levels that are delightful playgrounds of violence and playing as an empty husk of a human being that emulates the own empty void where your heart should be? Why am I even asking you this? You're on this channel of all places. PIGFACE is a game where you play as Exit, an enigmatic person whose only defining trait is their penchant for violence, which has led her to be captured by an organization that wants to exploit just that. They have planted a bomb in the base of her skull and have tasked her with going any place they ask her to and leaving nothing but chalk lines and an increase in shareholder value. Pick your weapons and let's get going. Sometimes you just gotta do this with beards. Like, this is freshly oiled too. See it like back here. I was all dried off before I started today's recording session. Like, I took my full shower. I normally don't blow dry my hair, so I have like this fan here that I probably should have turned on by now, like to slowly air dry my hairs because I don't want it damaged before donating. But I've been sitting here for so long cooking. That's the price I gotta pay sometimes. PIGFACE starts you out with your handler explaining to his handler that they got you. Some stuff we previously mentioned happens to keep Exit loyal, and then you're plopped out into a dingy looking room. There's a phone ringing on the other end. You pick it up and you're asked, "Do you like hurting other people?" No, not really, but you know where this is going. Your handler tells you the score, and the tutorial level has a bunch of people that have been paid to try and kill you, and it does not go well for them, because nobody told them that you were the game's protagonist. The tutorial and the first level are the same as the demo, which we played extensively on stream, and something I enjoy about it is that there's a designated part of this tutorial that's not just to teach you so much about the mechanics, but to let you goof around with like the mainstay guns of the game. Learn their rate of fire, their spread, their recoil climb. See which ones give you movement penalties or which ones hit like a truck but take a lifetime to reload. If you're not sold on the game by the end of this video, do me a favor and yourself a favor and download that demo off Steam. PIGFACE's missions give you a whole lot of wiggle room to either sneak around, charge in, guns literally blazing, or do what I ended up doing on my most recent playthrough and using long-range snipers to clean out half the map before ditching my starting weapon for whatever's laying around and handy for cleanup. I'm about 3 playthroughs and change through the early access so far, and the guns have a lot of personality. The Tech 9 is a scrappy little gun that's surprisingly handy in most scenarios, despite being the literal starter pistol. The Mac 10 you're most likely going to get next is a veritable bullet hose with fuller auto, and a recoil rate so intense that if you want to shoot at someone's head, aim at their feet. The double barrel shotgun you can walk out of the tutorial with can get a whole lot of damage out real fast and handles surprisingly well, but it's a hard sell when there's more than 2 people in a room or people standing more than 5 feet away from each other. The pump action, on the other hand, is a monster that signs the death warrant of anyone in tomato throwing distance, and at close range, it's the bad guy space program. My personal and unexpected favorite was the snub-nosed revolver. All the guns in PIGFACE have optional attachments, including scopes and silencers. If you slap both on that revolver, the damage penalty is minimal enough to where it's still a guaranteed kill on headshots and a guaranteed knockdown on anything else, making it, for all intents and purposes, as effective as the bolt-action rifle without the movement and handling penalties. And before this gets nerfed. Oh yeah, there's melee too. Melee gets wild because while some smaller things are just oh shit buttons for whenever a couple guys rush you between magazines, the larger melee weapons have stupid knockback on them and can be used to great effect. While very few melee weapons will get you the one-shot kill outside of well-placed throwables and really big stuff, one-shot kills don't matter much when you can just knock a person off the building. And of course, you can't have open levels like the one in PIGFACE without alternate paths, hidden collectibles, and secrets. In the levels we've got so far, save for the farmhouse level you get right out of the tutorial, which is laid out in a literally approach this from any direction type of deal, all levels have some sort of alternate path or vantage point off the beaten trail to take advantage of. Sometimes you find a dead drop that wasn't meant for you, but it's certainly yours now. Sometimes you'll find this level's mask. Every level has a mask, and masks are your modifiers a la Hotline Miami. Some weapons that are nothing more than novelty money dumps become a real workhorse through mask. Some masks turn sniping into a point-and-click adventure. Some masks make the game more family-friendly. As for acquiring guns, PIGFACE uses Cruelty Squad rules where it's finders keepers. You leave a level with a weapon, barring the tutorial where a bunch of high-end weapons are just laying around, you now own that weapon. You can still buy weapons at the in-game store since you can only carry one firearm at a time, and that'd be tedious to keep running the same level over and over again to collect all the guns in it. And also, the store is where you'll find the mods like silencers and such. Oh yeah, as for the plot thus far, we haven't seen too much, and it looks like Exit is just going along with it for now. Let's get our lunches ready. Time for some meal prep. Today we're going to do a sort of turkey shepherd's pie. Why? Because I've been trying to expand my horizons on protein sources for meal prep lately and realized I haven't done anything with turkey. I initially thought turkey pot pie was a good idea, but there's a lot of excess calories in the crust and you also got to bake those things individually. I settled on a shepherd's pie type of thing because you might have noticed in other videos that I already did mashed potatoes and therefore already have a recipe down. First order of business is to get the turkey mix ready. We're taking a whole 6 pounds of turkey, tossing that into a pot with some oil for a medium-high heat, and stirring occasionally. Also, side note here on the turkey, don't get it at Costco. I find the grocery store has cheaper ground turkey per pound. Like Costco's really good with like beef and some fish, but other meats it just can't get like the bulk prices. Like, I don't think their whole chickens are as good of a price as other stuff, but like their chicken breast is good. It's like definitely something that will do you a lot of good in your life is just wander around the grocery store and write down prices per pound for various things that you need to buy. Getting back to the focus now. Yeah, it's a lot of turkey, and yes, it kind of looks like gray mush right now, but be patient. It'll start looking like the usual darkened, pebbly ground stuff and get cooking properly just like beef in due time. It just takes a bit longer. Also, I'm doing this in this soup pot because it just so happens to be the same volume as my slow cooker, and that way I can tell in advance if this is gonna fit in the slow cooker or not. Once things are going how you'd expect them to go, chop up some celery and get some mixed veggies of your choice ready, toss it all in there, and get a couple big cans of cream of mushroom soup to act as our, emulsifier, if that's the right word. You get the idea of what I'm going for though. Get it all mixed together, pour it into the crock pot, and set it to low and slow for 4 to 6 hours. And also as a note here, while I added some half and half creamer to this in the video, it's not really necessary with the mushroom soup, and also I ended up having my crock pot overflow a bit and having to skim off about a pint of liquid anyway. So just don't bother putting it in. Just always remember to account for like things expanding with heat when cooking. 4 to 6 hours is plenty of time to do the everything else. For instance, I started this and did the entire process of the salmon and quinoa I showed you from last year's Indieween and got the mashed potatoes ready to go. I even did all of the chicken quarters recipe from last video's cooking segment in this. As for more relevant stuff, I got some really small potatoes for some reason that were really tedious to peel and took a long time, so I didn't bother filming it. Like, I went to 2 different stores after I saw how small these twerps were at my usual place, and the other place had them real small too. I guess it was a very diminutive harvest. Whatever, get them peeled and cut them up into small, mostly uniform pieces and get them into a pot with water. Salt them a little and then turn on the heat. You want to start your water for mashed potatoes at room temperature so that they cook evenly. Then, once they come to a boil, give it 15 minutes or until you can poke them with a fork and they go right through with almost no resistance. Once they're done, drain them like they were pasta and add some butter, salt, pepper, milk, and any other seasonings you'd like. Don't worry about all this butter, by the way. We're dividing this among enough portions to where it's negligible. The turkey should be just about done. Once the crock pot's done, turn it all the way off and let it rest for half an hour with the lid off. We want it to settle a little before we start scooping it out so that it retains its moisture. The rest is pretty straightforward. Distribute the turkey mix among all the portions. I've got a solid 10 portions here, which means each pie has 10 ounces in it. Admittedly, I was shooting for 12 portions with 8 ounces, but sometimes life has other plans. Take your mashed potatoes and portion them over the top. Use the measuring spoon to smooth it all over, and there we have it. Just let these cool for a bit before putting them in the fridge, and then once they're cold to the touch, transfer all the portions you're not going to eat in the next 2 days to the freezer. When you eat one from the fridge, take one out of the freezer and put it in the fridge to start thawing. The only downside I find to these is that the moisture starts to sap out of the mashed potatoes if they're in the freezer for too long, and you gotta give it a couple rounds in the microwave mixing it up while reheating. This is a recipe I literally made up as I went, and I'm still hammering out the kinks. As always, this recipe is available over at patreon.com/charlatanwonder for free for everyone. I am sticking it to all those services that charge exorbitant fees for meals you could easily make yourself by, rather than just complaining about them, showing you how to do meal prep for yourself. These are free for everyone, but if you want it, you can still pledge. Think of it as taking all the money you save by learning how to prep meals yourself and passing a bit of that on to me. But you don't need to. It's cool. Let's get back to PIGFACE. Now, there aren't really any spookies in PIGFACE, at least not yet anyway, but you never know. Mainly because you play as the spooky. Enemies are straight up scared of you. Sure, they'll still attack you and try to get to you before you get to them, but they sound genuinely shook that you've shown up. Exit is implied to have quite the reputation in the world of PIGFACE, and based on the intro, it took a lot to even get her into the position of working for her new employers. They straight up have to put a bomb in her skull to make sure that she doesn't go off reservation, and the bonus objective in the tutorial mission is to straight up massacre all the guards waiting for you by the truck just to prove a point. It's worth noting that one of the only elements of characterization for Exit we get is that she seems to be enjoying herself. If you get a good headshot or overkill an enemy by a large amount, she'll let out a little chuckle. I think this is like one of her only dialogue lines. The handler even comments about how he found nothing in her head but violence. We never really see Exit do all that much except hang around and wait for the next job to come. Sure, it's not like she has a lot to do, but she doesn't seem to be overly concerned about her predicament. So since we're past the not spookies, let's talk about, I don't know, is it an immersive sim? Yeah, sure. PIGFACE can be an immersive sim if you want to call it that. I'll admit I haven't found any box stacking or a place to input the code 0451 or a flushable toilet or anything like that, but it's still early access and there's time. Plus, as it is, PIGFACE is very much a play your kind of way kind of game. Yeah, there's a lot of variety in the weapons and therefore a lot of variety in how you directly approach combat, but there's also alternate paths and mantling features that lets you take a few paths that maybe you weren't intended to take, or maybe you were, I don't know. Enemies will also slip on hazards you make. Not just landmines, but they'll also trip around bodies walking around blind corners or anything else you put in their path. Also, remember all those knockback we had with like melee weapons and high damage guns like the shotties? Well, have you noticed that there's a bunch of conveniently placed spiky walls hanging around? Welcome back, Dark Messiah! Maybe we can get some kicking in PIGFACE too. Lastly, like I mentioned earlier, PIGFACE released into early access. Presently as it is, there's a good 2 to 3 hours of game in PIGFACE. My first playthrough took me an hour and 45 minutes, but I played a lot of the demo, meaning I was already very familiar with the first level and how the mechanics handle. According to PIGFACE's EA blurb, it's already fully funded and all the mechanics are fully implemented, but I don't think we have to worry about the common foible of a lot of early access games where scope creep eats the production alive. The blurb estimates about a year, which in my experience is universal indie dev for we have no idea, but a year seems like the right amount of time to throw out for the sake of giving things a quantifiable estimate. I've seen this a lot. It's nothing against Tito or DreadX, this is just like, it's a thing. I don't know why it's a thing, but that's just the magic number is 1 year. With the game being, I guess, feature complete, it's just going to be more levels and more things that can spice up levels that we'll see them being done over a year, but time will tell. My final thoughts on PIGFACE for now are that I really like what I've seen and what I've played so far, and at $9.99 it's a bargain. I had a lot of fun running around like a maniac replaying levels, not just to farm money, but to also try out new loadouts or look for new secrets to find. And I think I've found just about everything in the game so far, and I'll be keeping an eye on this one as it gets updates. Speaking of update, Chocolate update, he is here. He comes. Want a scoop? He approaches. Yes. Want to help me finish the video? We're in a better mood. You want to? Okay. Sorry guys, he won't finish the video with us. Okay, first contribution to the video is he's going to stand on his favorite new box and scream. We recently, I've got that thing in behind me that the sinner is sitting on because we got a new one for the living room and the old one I'm just using to store crap. And we gave Frisk the box. And he loves this box. It is his favorite box. He sits on top of it. He goes inside of it. He slides around on it. He brought his flamingo, his favorite toy that he's had since he's a kitten, and plays with it on the box. This is ideal box right here. Peak box performance. But look at him go. Look at him go. Oh, he's getting shy. Where were we? So just to keep us all up to date on the running total, we started with Zero Protocol at $11.99, Brush Burial at $6.99, then we had Heartworm and Tower of Kalamanvo at $14.99 each, Feldevek at $10.99, There's a Gun in the Office at $8.99, and now PIGFACE at $9.99, which brings us to a total of $78.93. Look at that, we got 7 games for less than $80. We got up here without a single freebie, and we're thoroughly sticking it to the AAA slop industrial complex. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you've had a great Indieween. Don't forget about those free recipes on patreon.com/charlatanwonder, and to like the video if you enjoyed it, leave a little comment about your favorite weapon combo in PIGFACE if you played it, and don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and hype too, I guess. Man, I gotta ask you guys a lot of things these days, and I don't even bother shilling social media. Like I'm there, I just can't be bothered these days. Now let's sign off. Remember that no matter what you do, be it making masks, drawing, or dancing, what you do should never be called content. It is art. Content is a word that in recent years has been twisted into meaning a means to take all your skills, aspirations, and passions and grind them up into a gray sludge meant for nothing more than to make a line go up at your expense and someone else's benefit. Your art in no way deserves that, because art is sacred. Art is inalienably a reflection of its creator through the act of its creation, and in no way do you deserve to be reduced to content. So get out there and fight for yourself by fighting against the contentification of everything. Stay saucy. Oh, will you look at this. Ideal napping conditions. We're right by the snack bowl. Our scritchers are right here. And there's a lovely bit of sun coming in from the window blinds, right where you want to lounge. Look at how good you've got it, you silly boy. Why are you making that face? Is that the face you make when somebody interrupts your lounging time? Belly wobbles all on display. Can I get a scritch? He's in such a good mood, he did not immediately attack me. This must be nice. Ooh. Oh no, I've harshed his mellow. Also, like, his thing dispenses at noon, so, like, he just had a snack. So he's probably lounging on his scratcher, went and got his snack, and now he's just like, yeah, this is the best life. Oh no, you got my hands. Hey, 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 those are not warning bites. Could you please let go? Sir, please let go. Thank you. Look, I get you don't want your lounging interrupted, but that was just rude. That wasn't even like a warning bite. Fine, we're gonna go out and do stuff, and I'll just leave you here to enjoy your lounging. I bet when I come back in a few hours, you'll not even move. You'll just be here waiting for your next snack dispensation. Whatever, it's our day off. That's the kind of thing you do on a day off.